This is me, and across from me is the rank 1 player in the game, Gomeomi, otherwise known as KJ, Korean Jesus. And now it's my job to beat him. Now, how do we get here? About a month before this exact moment, I got invited to Epic 7's official content creator battle, and through drafts, I ended up on my buddy Kana's team, along with Chaos Primate and Ayak. In the first round, our team was pitted against the rank 1 players' full Korean lineup. Now, since the format is a 4v4 with a BO3 in each round, we managed to go 2-0 but ended up going 2-2, which means the ace of each teams will be playing each other. Being the rank 1 player, we all knew Gomeomi was going to represent his team, and on our side, Kana ended up choosing me, knowing Gomeomi would outspeed him in a cleaver mirror match. So, knowing that, I was at a pretty hefty disadvantage heading into this draft. You know, before I break down this draft, I just want to say, I don't know where people got this idea I was Giga Chad, cold blood as ice during this. I get that draft looked good, but I was really so nervous. I had to take drastic measures to get out of my own head. So I started saying bad anime karaoke. If I clown on myself right now, there's no way I can clown myself harder in game, right? So with that said, I opened my draft and I pre-banned Ran and Conqueror Lilius, two of the hardest units to play knowing my opponent is faster than me, by far. And Gomeomi pre-banned Spectre Tenebria and Lua, two units I've been playing a lot leading up to this tournament, so he's definitely done his homework. So with that, KJ first picks Zio. And to me, that tells me he wants to secure absolute speed superiority. And also lets me know that I can forget about contesting him in speed and just go as tanky as I can. For me, that's Destina and Specialty Change Aerowall. Those are my picks, since they're the premier tank down openers with very little weaknesses. So Gomeomi instantly responds with Zahhak and Winter. Zahhak is a really strong single target nuker, but when picked in this spot, I think it's very punishable, especially when you're early. You have a lot of ways to draft countermeasures versus him. And Winter, who is one of the newer collab units, and she's a proven pick to be able to hard counter cleansers and healers when they use non-attacking skill, and in my case, that's Destina right here. And she ramps up a lot of damage to stun her targets, right? So I'm already being put in a pinch. Now I have two picks to respond with, and pick 3-4 here is very important at this particular juncture. One, because I have a very high pivotable playstyle, and usually by pick 3 and 4 is where your comp gets completely locked in. And two, ideally, my 3 and 4 can counter his 2 and 3. So that's going to be what I'm going for here. So that tells me in 2 picks, I have to counterpick 2 units that are both single target nukers, and they have to both use non-attacking skills, right? And that gives me a slight clue on how to counter draft this. So that means my first pick will be Politis, who can activate on Gomeomi's draft off of these non-attacking skills. I have 2 built, one for damage and one for debuffs. In this particular case, because Gomeomi is going to outspeed me and do a lot of damage, I need to pick the tankier high FRES debuff / counter build. As a damage one, we'll just get one shot by his fast units. This debuff Politis will have plenty of chances to land Abyssal Crown stuns. Since Gomeomi only has 2 activators, she essentially acts as a landmine should Gomeomi want to play with his normal team draft setup. For the second hero, I needed a stealth hero. And off the top of my head, I can only think of these units. That starts the battle stealth because of either their passive or guiding light. That way, I'm protected versus Zahhak and Winter, and you just have to worry about pick 4 and 5. Since Lua and Spectre Tenebria are pre-banned, Winter is picked away. Operator Sigrid doesn't do enough damage when he doesn't have any barriers. Faithless Litica doesn't offer enough damage versus his aggressive draft. Can't pick Landy as she'll be my only DPS, and the reason Landy can't be picked in this spot is if Gomeomi reads that my Landy is my only DPS in the draft, right? If he assumes my Politis is a debuff one, which he is, he can just pick 2 fire units on pick 4 and 5, and I'm basically trapped. That really just leaves Briar Witch's Saria, huh? Pre-buff. This is a very, very rare pick. So much to nobody's surprise, Gomeomi responds with Ed, which is a great counter pick. It blocks Asaria's S3, which I definitely want to use. He takes a few seconds to think about his second pick, but ended up going with Dark Corvus. This is where I should pause and point out the fact that the game happened before the round of buffs in December 2022, which means both Dark Corvus and Briar Witch hasn't been buffed to their current state yet. Briar doesn't block Destina's revive, nor does Dark Corvus shrug off any stuns thrown out by Politis. From his perspective, Ed is a great pick due to being able to landmine my debuffs, and Dark Corvus can start one-shotting units to extinction, and Briar Witch isn't the hardest of carries, so a Dark Corvus really isn't even threatened. As for last pick, I don't think it mattered too much. It really did look like he was drafting to play against my top 4. This is a very powerful strategy when you're drafting an RTA. If you know your opponent has last pick, you can just tell yourself, I'm going to ban that last unit no matter what, and just try to pick out 5 units that in almost any combination should be able to beat out your opponent's top 4. So since I needed another stealth character, and I know Landy is even pretty okay even versus a lot of these fire units, I decided to go with Landy. And surely enough, she's also post-banned. For me, that's Ed. My play here is to take my team into Dark Corvus and hope Briar Witch can land enough defense breaks to carry the tempo into the end game. As for whether or not that works, I'll let you guys watch how it played out.
Very high damage dealers.
Yeah,
especially if
He did ban the Landy.
witness.
This Politis, yeah, push here, so it's definitely a...
It's a Chatty. We saw it.
Yeah.
Chatty
We
on
start
the
with
Zio.
Here's game 1 of the ace match.
Sinner.
And Zahak only 5% off. So pretty fast there too.
I'll finish this soon.
Okay.
Of course, double resist from Destina.
Yeah. Typical. So Hawk turn. Who is he going into?
I think he wanted just S3 the Destina here.
He does double guns.
Ooh.
So even though this won't kill the Destina, you still get a lot of injury off, and that kind of deals with a lot of her damage. The fixed 5k damage though might just kill on Winter here.
No, he's going to the Politis here. He doesn't want to eat the.
Oh.
Oh, it's a degen Politis high ER with counter set.
I think that's why, yeah, KJ ended up going with the D-Corv there, because Valkyrie's side does lack a lot of damage.
Those who stray from the path
Oh,
of righteousness
and the arrow does get the strip
shall
here.
be punished.
Should get the strip.
And the
that's
stun
my
as well on the Zahak. This Basari
That's
actually is
huge.
doing big damage.
My limit. I will.
And I think on Valkyrie's side, you just want to rip your S1s here. You don't want to proc that Winter, and you just slowly but surely wither away the rest of his team.
Dark Corvus has Crimson Seed.
But it is a guiding late Basaria as well, so I mean Basaria into D-Corv is actually not the worst, right?
Also, this D-Corvus he can't provoke anything here. All 3 units that he can hit have a high enough ER, it seems. Politis S3 comes flying out.
See any stuns? Oh, 2 stuns on the Zio
This
and the
is
Zahak.
so bad.
Oh man.
In a commanding lead.
It's just chipping away at the barrier, but can't even break it.
Yeah.
Did Valky find a solution against Go Myung Mi?
Winter goes down.
That's what I do.
Our queen. The Hawk follows suit.
Oh man.
I don't think Dark
Keep in
Corvus
mind,
can do this
Destina
alone.
Still has all of her skills available as well. The question here is whether or not the D-Corp can kill this Destina, and then everything else one by one.
You challenge me? Fine.
Valk now gonna whittle down this Zio. D-break does land.
Not interfere.
The DFI makes that Zio just so tanky. The Chatty does get
S1 stunned.
And he gets stunned here.
Oh, man, Go Myung Mi not
be
left with
afraid.
that many options. Valky just running away with things.
Slowly but surely, the D-Corv is slowly getting primed and ready to go. No guiding
Oh,
light.
no provoke landing. That was the pre-buff D-Corv. Now he's gonna be able to knock out the Zio. Guys, I don't know though if Valk can... The D-Corv was gonna continuously get that lifesteal knockdown one by one.
Another
Does Valk have enough damage to kill?
Can he land the stun here? If
It showed to have high ER and he has Crimson Seed, so I highly
Okay.
doubt it.
Will be brought
I
down
highly
upon
doubt
you.
it. Okay, there's the Crimson Seed, but it did land the stun. Yeah.
Good call there, Car.
I think you
East
just
of the West.
you have to heal yourself here. But honestly,
Get ready.
I would have considered just S3 in there for souls.
Because the Destina's going to be the...
Oh,
he gets the
Oh!
stun! That was a double stun proc as well.
You are
S1 and the crown.
in my city.
Debuff's now going to be sticking. This is bad.
This is pre-buff Decorv, so once Decorv buffs go through, he can't get stunned like this.
Now we know why they gave him that buff, apparently.
Huh?
This blind is huge,
Right.
though. Oh, the Crimson Seed does heal it.
In
Well,
the light's
he
name.
needs to... Politis may not be able to stun in time. Decorv is going first.
A true knight.
But the only
picks
downside
their
here is that
battles
the Decorv has
wisely.
to slam into the Destina.
Yeah, so he could still
I
get
can
controlled
still
after
endure.
this. But he will be soul burning when it is his turn. Any debuffs landing here?
Going to hurt.
We'll see. Which area? Deepa?
Unbuffable.
7k damage there. Let's see how much this Decorv heals.
Oh, he actually opts to go into Politis. Doesn't want to get stunned.
The only downside here is that the Politis gets executed,
Radiant light.
but still a lot of damage from the Basteria here. Very
I
scary stuff.
protect. That's what I do.
Can you still survive that long?
It
And
hurts.
keep this up for Gomyang-ni.
So, yeah, Arwell's skill 3 is... Oh, D-Break is...
Defense
but
break. Oh, that's
it's
huge.
gonna, he's going to pass over it here. Valk needs to time a Crimson
be
Seed proc
afraid.
into the Arwell stun.
It seems like it does S2. Oh, wait, no. Defense break just cycled out.
If he
So
lands a Crimson Seed proc, he can just get a stun here and I think close it out pretty easily.
Foolish. I made
And
it.
guys, we have two pre-buffed units that are going to get changed massively.
Forgot here that the Decorv S3 actually provides an extinction.
With something
Oh,
to
this is,
protect.
so he's going to eat the Crimson Seed here. If it does proc, 70% chance. Oh, actually just resisted.
Fine.
So now he has the Crimson Seed still to maybe knock off this.
Oh, and almost
Does it
kills
kill?
there.
No souls this time,
348.
though. And Bryceria still has the immortality.
Is it
So,
my turn?
Oh,
I think,
does this do enough damage?
yeah, with Frenzy 5, that's
Yeah.
too much damage now.
Wow,
Wow.
and that's a
Wow.
Decorv buff
Let's
difference.
go together.
Yeah, if Decor was not able to get any stun, maybe.
But,
Hey,
guys, Bryceria would have been buffed too. She
Oh,
would have been
that's
doing
true.
way more damage.
that
So, with a win under my belt, I feel like I did my job no matter what. Even if I lose 2 straight from here, I already proved that I can take at least a game off of the rank 1 player in the game. So at least with that bit of comfort, we head into game 2. Here, I chose to pre-ban Assassin Sid because I played against Gomyang-mi plenty of times on ladder, and I know he's very well known both in the E7 as well as the Twitch community for having a 318 speed pen set Assassin Sid. Definitely don't want to deal with that if I want to play a speed tango with him. This time, he pre-bans Politis because that's what really screwed him last game, which is honestly, in my opinion, a solid pre-ban. But I think he doesn't know that my account is actually the strongest in the Soul Weaver department. So to me, a Politis pre-ban is hugely enabling for my account. And especially for my personal playstyle, I like to draft a lot of Soul Weavers very aggressively because not only do they enable healing, they can also boost attack or combat readiness, which allows for many very aggressive combos. So in game 2, Gomyang-mi opens the draft with SC Airwall first. So I think for a single target cleave he's trying to play, SC Airwall is either you pick or you have to ban. Because he didn't get to ban it, he now has to pick it as basically like an anchor or a stabilized tool, and to remove it from my draft. So it's a little bit of a 2-in-1. For me, knowing that I probably still has to be on the defensive, Destina is still a natural first pick. I think this is where the draft gets a little bit wild. What I meant to do here was pick Yulha, because she's a very good damage mitigator into SC Airwell, especially since her revenge kill ignores Airwell's S score. But because I was switching music in between windows on my own stream, you know, because I was really nervous, I clicked the wrong Green Knight.
No, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Senya early is usually terrible versus good players, but once again, there are 2 things to take note here. 1, Politis is pre-ban, and she's usually the hardest counter to Senya. And 2, I just swapped my build on Politis to F-Res, which is away from the most popular build at this point in time, which is effectiveness. Since Destina just became a meta hero as well, there's like a lot of cleanse in the meta for effectiveness Senya to work. So in this case, I'm trying out for the first time F-Res Politis. And do keep in mind, my Destina is on a Shamadra staff. My Senya is on 130 F-Res. So with that context, my Senya now has 130 of this stat that nobody would expect you to have. In this context, this mispick actually turned out to be a really pivotal part of this draft. So, seeing me give up turn 1 again, Gomiami is going to take something very aggressive, right? To nobody's surprise. So here with Zahak, who usually can kind of reach into Senya's anti-crit with a little bit of extra crit chance, and Operator Sigrid, who, because Senya can give a very small barrier, now Operator Sigrid can capitalize on that. Seeing this combo come through, the number one thing for me was to take Zio, because he can take turn 1 and take a turn away from Zahak. And I needed to come up with a unit that, 1, had a good chance to outspeed a Zahak, and 2, can support my team defensively versus Operator Sigrid without hopefully putting a barrier. You know, you make it a little bit awkward for them. And, you know, after giving it some thought, I think DN here is pretty good because, you know, in a real pinch, worst case scenario, DN has anti-crit. Go ahead, bro. S2 me with your Operator Sigrid. 50% chance you lose the game to a worse player. So, to be honest, it's not a great bet because it's a 50-50, but against a better player, I'll take a 50-50. So, Gomiami once again responds with Winter, who's great into Soul Weavers, and now I have 2 of them, giving her crazy value. His other pick is May Chloe, who I think has great value into Senya, not only for the cleanse, but also to re-establish tempo. You know, once Senya drops her S3 and he can cleanse away all the debuffs, or revive in case something goes wrong. So May Chloe is actually a pretty strong anchor here. So at this point in the draft, I know there are a few pieces of information. Gomiami has a aggro 3 DPS 2 support draft. I know this because the Hawk was high damage last game. His Winter is low bulk, high DPS, and Operator Sigrid's entire identity is damage, so these are 3 squishy high damage units. The easiest way to throw this team off balance is to ban a support between SC Airwall and Maid, and the much better support here in this case is May Chloe, since he can cleanse Senya debuffs and still revive his units even if I kill them. Which means it doesn't matter if I announce the Maid ban or not, if I can convince him my last pick can outspeed and potentially one-shot his entire team. Essentially, I'm going to announce my ban and tell him I'm banning his last pick. This is where I take my Fire Koeric, because I don't play Ran, so my Fire Koeric is on my best set of speed DPS gear. And because I know he can reasonably outspeed, you know, a Winter or as a Hawk because he's just faster, and with my damage, I'm probably going to do a lot of damage, if not one-shot his team, through SC Airwall. And even if I don't kill them, hopefully the silence would do enough damage and would be able to stall out his team, essentially. He does ban the Koeric, and I remove the May Chloe, so we're playing a top 4 versus top 4 comp again. And this is definitely something you'll see a lot when you see good players play versus each other, where everybody is drafting 5 units, banning last, and they're playing against each other's top 4. With both last picks removed from the draft, let's see how this plays out.
No, it's just too scary.
Here we go.
Here we go, guys. This one is definitely be a little bit faster than last.
Yeah, Inquisition on a match point.
S3 as well into the Zahak. There's a Hawk.
Right, match point.
11k HP Zio. Let's see how much damage Zio is going to do. Looks like it is a high effectiveness Zio. You can see a crit there.
Wanna see something?
Oh, that one cannot crit.
Oh, right.
Not
Winter
bad.
S3 flying out here. Does get the stun.
Brace yourselves,
Oh, a lot of
wild
damage.
things.
Right, because it's 5k fixed. So the DFI does not reduce any of
I
that.
will regret
Oh,
nothing.
man. It's getting the barrier up.
Willing and the anti-crit as well.
Level up. Oh, man. I love Winter dominance right now.
Code
That
received.
S3 reset will be hot real soon.
Executing commands.
And here's Opsig before S3 first.
Oh, and this does prime all of Valky's units to
A
be
true knight picks their battles
to be S2'd by
wisely.
this Opsig if it hits the
Right.
hits the crit
Those who
debuff.
stray from the path
Very scary
of
stuff.
righteousness
Going for the
shall
stun.
be punished.
This could be big.
Don't be
Ooh.
afraid.
Ooh, does get the strip, but no stun. 15% there, possibly.
Beast of the West.
Oh. Here comes the S3 from the Senya. Huge S3.
Yeah, that missed stun was brutal for KJ.
For this
Good provoke.
What you doing? Let's
Pretty
get
nice.
started.
Big damage.
Ooh, the
Does land the
damage.
crit.
Don't
Doesn't twice, yeah.
You can call me
That's what he
Magical
needed.
Girl D.
Does have the S2 here on DN.
Zio will get a turn here in the
Well,
DFI.
You what the true vessel
Just
is.
knocks out the Zahak, and it will get a huge CR boost. Oh, actually, wait, hitting into the R.
Back down.
Okay.
Big damage
Better end it.
10k.
onto Arrowell.
I warned you, didn't I?
So
You
even
should
though
secure the kill on Senya.
I believe.
Not to waste my time.
Do you think Gomiami's team is slowly but surely chipping away here?
But after this,
I protect. That's what I do.
He must have missed the crit on the Senya there, guys. No fixed damage. That would have been a 10k.
Oh, and the
the
resistance.
counter again. Oh,
Holy sack, though.
oh, the damage is crazy coming out from Kenya.
In the light's name.
Zahak secures the kill there, but Valky in a very commanding lead now.
Luminescence.
Skill 3 coming out.
Glory.
Cena with the revive.
I'm just on
Level up
another
activate on the
level.
winner.
How
Oh,
about
is this a
you?
max stack
Deadly.
S3? I think it is.
Yeah, I think
Not quite. I believe this is
Third one.
15k now. Yeah, this is 15k. She can get one more stack after.
Oh, I think the Zio's just dead. Oh, but
He goes for again. Does he crit, though? If
But
he doesn't
I
crit, it's
don't
not going to kill.
stand a chance.
Misses both crits. Wow, back to back on the
I would have
Senya.
just hit the.
What?
I would have just hit the Zio there.
Yeah, it was a little risky. Well, Zio also has anti-crit, so he might have lost the
Yeah,
coin
maybe
flip
that
there
was
as
the reason
well.
why.
What you doing? Let's get started.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Gomiami didn't go for the risk.
Resist now also on the skill 1 stun. That had to be a 50% on
man.
that one. DFI, let's see that animation, G-Clef.
Oh,
Lands the kill, CR
9k,
boost.
only Winter left.
And Winter cannot
Gomiami
do
and the
this
team
alone.
nicely Korean does go down against Inquisition. Valky takes
takes
a
it.
2-0 win.
And with that, we took one scuffed pick and pivoted our entire draft and used it to our advantage. The only variable in the draft was Gomiami's arrow wall actually having effectiveness to be able to strip my Senya's buffs. But I think with repeated checks, my FRS stacking kind of came through and Senya just took over the game. For me, I think one big takeaway I have from this is a lot of times, especially in big moments, all that matters is how well you prepared. From my time playing sports back in high school, all of that practice and preparation really just prepares your body for the big games, right? And during those big moments, you just kind of let your flow state take over. You know, with nerves coming in on a bigger stage and all that, right? Everybody gets nervous during these big moments. Doing something stupid, right? Even like singing bad anime karaoke in front of a couple hundred dudes to take your mind off the nerves, and it helps you get into that flow state and helps quite a bit. In game, identifying a common weakness pick combination has and can be diffused by one clutch pick, while pinching out the same core of units on last pick to force your opponent's ban can definitely put an opponent of any caliber in a tough spot. That being said though, I definitely got lucky since the tournament was played right before the Briar Witch and Dark Corvus buffs, allowing for that exact combination for me to take the first game off, which definitely would have changed the outcome if, you know, we played that just a week later. That aside, I hope the video was informative and entertaining. I want to thank Smilegate for inviting me to the tournament, and, you know, to you guys for watching the content and cheering me on when I needed it the most. Please let me know in the comments if you guys want to see another set of games analyzed, as I thought there were a lot of really great games played during the CCB. I had a lot of fun both playing and breaking down the moments. So if I could pick a moment to relive, it'd definitely be Game 5 between myself and Time Will Stop. That was an amazing set. If you like the content, you can support me for free by subscribing here and checking out the RTA stream sometimes on twitch.tv/Valky, or check out the short section, as now we have a lot of 60-second hero guides aimed at beginners and intermediate RTA players to help you guys basically catch up on a lot of high-end information. For now, that'll be it from me for this video. Hope you guys have a great one, and, you know, stay safe out there. See ya.